And I'm not making fun of folks with their great Yankee accents. You know, I do make fun of the good old boys, too. I could do a boss hog for you right now. Literally. This is our town. We've been running it for 9 generations, and we don't let the little people get uppity around here. We take whoever's property we want, and we run the drugs through this area. But when we catch them young doper kids using it, we also throw them in the jail. There's a lot of opportunities to work with the government. I like Obama. I've heard him talk like that. Oh, God. But you can read about it. IDs to use the internet, meaning they're tracking everything you do and surveilling you. Filters controlling what you can see. The government, this is in the cybersecurity bill that's passed the House, passed the Senate committee. It's pretty much a sure thing vote now. Though little Hitler Bird is now dead, but I'm sure whoever they replace him with, they need all those votes they can get. Obama Internet Kill Switch plan approved by the Senate. That's Tech World. Here's our story up for 2.5 days at Drudge Report. It's been up since Saturday. I saw it Sunday, but it's been up since Saturday, I've been told. Obama could shut down Internet for 4 months under new emergency powers. You might want to actually go read this. We have the quotes out of the bill itself. And even though this is all over the news and admitted, it's like, well, that's just the way it is. You know, we've got to do that. We've got to do that right now. But hey, the Supreme Court gave us our gun rights. No, they didn't. They said counties and cities can restrict your Second Amendment, just not completely. They never had that fake authority before, but now one of the kangaroo branches of government has said that states and cities can restrict your Second Amendment. States can't restrict anything under the Bill of Rights. And the minute they try, that's when the federal power comes in. It's a separation of powers. The states aren't too powerful. The feds aren't too powerful. And it's always that balance. And so the establishment's like, we kind of like states' rights. Yeah, states' rights says you hand your gun in. That's what the ruling says. Oh, this doesn't mean the Chicago gun ban can still not be in place. It just means that you've got to modify it a bit. All right, don't worry, you'll still get their guns, Alito said. And they said, oh. And so that's why the gun control groups are very excited right now. They're like, don't worry, we're going to get these people. We've got them where we want them, all right? They're chumps. This is meant to make them go to sleep. Now we commence with getting their guns. There's nothing these dumb Americans won't buy. And as long as we can shut that Alex Jones down and that pesky Drudge Report and those other evil talk show hosts, everything will be just fine. We're so close. Let's just keep working. Let's just keep working. Before I go to break, come back with some more of your calls and more news. And then we're going to go to Ottawa. We're going to go to Toronto and other areas to see what the G20's up to. Yep, Elena Kagan, butchering the Bill of Rights, serial offender, going after our basic liberties and freedoms. But hey, 4 members of the Supreme Court argued for an absolute Chicago gun ban nationwide. They argued that there is no right for you to own a single-shot .22 rifle. 4 members. We've had a government that criminal that they put monsters on the bench who lied in their confirmations saying they believed in the Second Amendment. So Kagan is just replacing, one of the other droppings. But she is as bad or worse than anything I've ever seen. I mean, she is bold. At least the others have been federal or state judges. I mean, this woman's never been a judge, never been a trial lawyer, but she's a Goldman Sachs former operative. Isn't that just special? And so now, up on PrisonPlanet.tv for viewers, we have the John Wayne Kagan Gacy clown lookalike. And I'm telling you, she looks just like John Wayne Gacy in those photos with the big jowl. And I had that idea in my mind, so a listener, Steve, put this together. And wait a minute, Phil is an awesome graphics guy. Phil, where's yours? You made one. What, she's so beautiful you can't look at her anymore? And I'm someone that doesn't really put a lot of stock in what someone looks like. I don't normally talk about the cover of a book, but I mean, today, Can we find an image of her from the hearings? Are they still going? I mean, she's wearing this Byzantine Queen Elizabeth giant outfit. Her hands look bigger than her head. It's like in Beetlejuice, he has this tiny head. And she's like a Grimer Wormwood or something from Lord of the Rings when he's hiding behind the throne. Your Majesty, don't listen. I mean, she's literally like in there in the meeting. I mean, what a troll, like ugly creature. And look, I've noticed all the photos of her in the past. She's not wearing makeup and jewels, and that's fine. That's fine if she's androgynous. The issue here is that why are they dressing her up like a woman? And since dressing her up like a woman is not fair to her style, I really looked at her soul, her spirit, and saw a clown. But not a happy, friendly clown, no. A dangerous clown. Clown of our nightmares. And so I dub her John Wayne Kagan Gacy, our supreme leader, butcher of the Bill of Rights and Constitution, vice demon of the New World Order, supreme defender of corruption and lack of due process and victim disarmament. Oh, great Supreme Kagan, you are so wonderful. You are so really big and gracious and wondrous. You will disappear our speech. You support torture. You will disappear our liberties. Oh, thank you, Lord Kagan. All right, I'm going to come back, and we'll take some calls in the next little segment. Then we got some guests coming on for much of the next hour, but some more news. I'm really almost scared to read the rest of this news to you here. It's all up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, but some of it deals with the spill, and mainstream news saying we're going into a depression, and more media talking about evacuations. Here's the Christian Science Monitor. Gulf oil spill. Could toxic storm make beach towns uninhabitable? So they're talking about evacuations in the Washington Post as well. Oil Industry Insiders, a CFR member, predicts Gulf evacuation. So we'll talk about that some too. But right now, let's continue with your phone calls today. Mike in Pennsylvania, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex.
Yes, sir, Mike.
Hey, my favorite author is Jim Marrs. My favorite book is Rule by Secrecy. And I don't have it handy, but one of his big points was Sam and Chase running around and looking at state versus state military. And
well, I'm not really following you. Can you elaborate on exactly what you're talking about?
Well, he's talking about state versus state military.
Nation versus nation, you mean? Okay, Mike, I appreciate your call. Yeah, Jim's a great writer. Let's talk to Weston in Missouri. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good.
I got two things I was meaning to tell you guys about. I'm a first-time caller. I'm a little nervous.
Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I was up at the CBS, the local CBS. I live in a suburb here in Kansas City called Independence. And I was in there buying my allergy medicine, and I just happened to hear the pharmaceutical rep talking to the head of the pharmacy, and they were just like casually like laughing about this, but they said they were going to start, that pharmaceutical companies were going to start putting statins in the water as well as lithium, and they were just, yucking it up. Ha, 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 it's so funny. And I just
that's being proposed on the news, and of all groups, the Department of Agriculture is looking at putting lithium and statins, and because after all, you're going to be happier, and the police may have to come by and test your blood. Oh, like in THX 1138, were you avoiding, your drug dose evasion, because that's a serious crime. And yes, you need your statins, which fry your liver. And, of course, the studies show are a complete fraud. And as the studies come out that the statins are a fraud in almost all cases, they push even more to now make children take statins. That's now been on the news, perhaps at age 5. I mean, it's the law. Everyone must take all these drugs that Big Pharma says we must take. So you were in there and heard them snickering and giggling. Did you talk to them?
I tried to confront one of them about it, and he kind of turned his back, like, don't talk to me, jerk, or something, basically.
Oh, because he's got a special white lab coat, and again, he's on a power trip. You're just a slave. He's part of the drug guild. He's part of the elite drug guild, and you dare to try to speak to him, you rabble.
Yeah, pretty much. I also want to make another point. I'm a student filmmaker here in Kansas City, and I was helping a friend of mine do a film on the healthcare bill. And it was kind of strange because the head of my department is like diehard Obamanoid. I mean, totally buys the garbage. And I had a bunch of the points that were actually in PDF up behind me, and I was making some of the points about how the illegals wouldn't have to pay any of the taxes, and the health care would be rationed. And she turned and looked at me right after the final presentation of the documentary, and she said, well, that's a good propaganda piece. I mean, I just kind of looked at her like, what are you on?